Hey guys, welcome. And today I am here with part 2 of my shadow milk cookie modeling tutorial run through, whatever. Well, okay. Last time we finished the head and yeah, it's looking kind of good. I'm seeing a bit of bumps there, but that's something we can fix. But in this part, we are going to be doing Shadow Milk Cookie's body. Okay, so first off, let's sort of fix a few issues here. Like, okay, this bit is sticking out right there. Let's move this in like that. I also just did an artwork for Mermaid 2026 and I'm not going to be uploading it yet because my parents just went out and I need a lot of time to do Shadow Milk Cookie's body as possible. Let's also do something about the eyelids because usually when I do eyelids it should be like, yeah, that looks normal. Okay. Alright. Now it's time for the body. But first, let's add the mirror modifier to the eye. So Shadow Milk Cookie has two eyes. See? Usually Shadow Milk Cookie has... Well, Shadow Milk Cookie has heterochromia, like Pure Vanilla Cookie does, with one eye being a different color from the other, which sorta, well, yeah. It sorta gives that slight connection between the beasts and the ancient cookies there, like Golden Cheese and Burning Spice Cookie, they both have face markings. And okay, yeah. I don't know the the similarities between Mystic Flower and Dark Cacao, Eternal Sugar and Hollyberry, and Silent Salt and White Lily. Apart from them having similar looking soul gems. Okay, so the body. I actually got this body reference up. It's actually from last year's Mermaid. And yeah, as you see, I did a slim body with Shadow Milk Cookie, no abs, and okay, here's what I'm aiming for. Yeah, I put this up as a body ref for when I do Shadow Milk Cookie's model. There. Okay, body time. First, let's make this thick there, and I also need a thing for the arms, so that'll do, and perfect. Okay. So what I'll also do is I accidentally made an extra loop cut for the head. Usually I have one loop cut there. So X, dissolve edges, and it made the whole model look friggin' ugly. at the top, so let me fix that real quick. Oh, oops. There we go. Better. Okay. I also want to move this in a bit. Okay, there we go. Now, what I want to do is do an extrusion for the shoulders. Actually, I would do 2 extrusions. There we go. And an extrusion for the pecs. Like that. But not too much. Shadow Milk's not buff. Yeah, this is a male model, not a female one. As you see, he was doing one for Rockstar Cookie's mom, Hot Sauce Cookie. It's still a work in progress, and as you see, this is a female body that I modeled. Though I might want to make these a bit smaller because they stick out a bit too much, but yeah. Anyway, back to Shadow Milk. Okay. There we go. And now for the lower part of the body. I would also want to do an extra loop cut here, because I would probably need that for when I do the back area. Okay, so I do this, and then this, and there we go. Now, Shadow Milk Cookie is not that buff, so let's do this. Oh, oops. And then we also want to move this up, because with the male characters, I have this line near the pecs, as you see, right there. And the way to actually give the illusion of that line in Blender is to move this bit up forward towards the pecs. Okay. Now, this is too square, so I'll just squeeze this up a bit. There we go. And now for the body here. It should be like, yeah, sort of like slim. There we go. That should do it. And I'll also move these up so it doesn't look like he is buff. There we go. Okay. It's starting to look good now. Let's also move this in a bit. Let's also make a little dip here. Perfect. this is a typical male body. Well, simple male body. Okay, now for the stomach. I'll do the cut right here and move it down like that. I also want to cut here. Perfect. And there we go. That's Shadow Milk Cookie's stomach. Okay. Now for the back area. I would usually move this in a bit because this is where the spine is, obviously. And there we go. This is where the shoulders are. Perfect. And I am kind of embarrassed to say that on well, should I even be saying that while recording? But this should be where the butt is. Yes, I said it, but. So yeah. Here's the butt. Let's also move this in a bit. I also want to do a little dent here and there. Perfect. Okay. We're nearly close to finishing the body. But let's move this down a bit. There we go. Now for the legs. I would usually move this in and extrude this out. Okay. Shadow Milk Cookie has thin legs, as you noticed there. So let's not make them too thick. There we go. Perfect. Except they might be a bit square at the moment, so let's... Oh, wait. Before that, let's do the feet. There we go. Actually, let's move this in a bit because the feet might be a bit too, square. And let's also flatten them at the bottom. Yeah, there we go. There's the foot. Feet, I meant. Okay. Now to round out the legs. Maybe make them thinner. Okay. Now what I could do is do another cut here to make it more, well, obvious. Separates the backside from the, well, legs. Okay, yes, I'm saying backside now. How many friggin' times am I gonna say butt in this video? There's another thing of me saying butt. Sorry. Okay. Let's round this out. There we go. Perfect. Except the legs are looking a bit too fat. So we'll fix that by simply just doing this and then shrinking the legs a bit. Like that. And boom. Okay. So I want to move the cuts for the groin down. There we go. All right. And also make the hips a bit. Actually, let's make them a bit thin. Shadow Milk's quite tiny in body structure. There we go. That's the body. Okay. With the body done, it's now onto the arms. But first, let's make these a bit. There we go. Want the shoulders to stick out more. Okay, perfect. Now let's do Shadow Milk Cookie's arms. But first I want to do a dent here for where the shoulders start. This should be the upper part, and okay, now for the arm. Shadow Milk Cookie doesn't have very muscular arms, unlike Burning Spice Cookie, so yeah. I'm going to give him thin arms. Sort of like this. I also need to make room for the shoulder dip. And here is the hand. Now this is looking a bit long, so I might squeeze that up. Like that. We don't want anything being disproportionate here. Okay, Now to do the modeling of the arms. Which is technically the bend. Okay, the bend here makes it so that when I rig it, and I will get a proper bend for the arms that is more natural. That's why I tend to model arms like this. Let's stick this bit out a bit more. There we go. Okay, this is looking good. Oh, oops. Okay. Now this needs to be a bit thin, and let's also make this more like a shoulder. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Shadow milk cookie. Spotty is almost done. Now I just need to give him his fingers. Okay. And also make this slightly less big. Like I said, Shadow Milk Cookie is not very buff. There we go. Alright, fingers time. Now for the fingers, I will usually do a loop cut from there to there, because usually when you look at your hands, as you see here, there's this sort of dent there, and there's your fingers. And to make it more natural, I decided to do that, and okay. There we go. Now to even it out. Perfect. Alright. Now for the fingers, I will simply go there and go face and extrude individual faces. Okay. And there we go, fingers. These are just the front fingers, well, the main fingers. Not the thumb. I will do the thumb next. And yes, I'm modeling this with fingers because this is actually based off of my headcanon AU storyline models, so yeah. they're more humanoid than the actual Cookie Run models, so yeah. Okay. Now, I model Beast Cookie Fingers a lot different from normal. Yes, I'll have to do this, but as you see, they look a bit more like claws than nails. So, yeah. For the Beast Cookies, I usually model them with claw-like nails instead of normal fingernails. There we go. Now let's taper them. There we go. Perfect. This looks okay. Though I think this finger is a bit too... well, thick. I'm going to try and... there we go. I'm going to try and sort of make it a bit thinner. Okay. Now I'm sort of having an issue. This here is way thick. Think I done some stupid mistake to make it that way. But there we go. Perfect. Even fingers. Now for the thumb. For the thumb I usually cut here because the thumb is usually it usually slides down from your hand. So yeah. Now. Okay. Okay, there's something wrong here. How do I do the thumb? Let's go back to this model. There we go. There's our problem. I forgot to do a loop cut here. Though here I didn't do the loop cut, I just extruded it and dragged it down. But yeah. I'll actually do the loop cut. But to do that, I will have to get rid of this loop. There. And okay. There we go. Perfect. Now I can have a slightly thinner thumb instead of a big white thumb. And there we go. Thumb. Okay. Now to make this slightly sloped so it's more natural, there. And now for the final bit, the nail. Okay, that is looking a bit too blunt. There we go. Perfect. There we go. And that is Shadow Milk Cookie's body. All right. Kind of a bit weird and cartoon-like, but I'm not going to complain. I might also fix this. There we go. Perfect. Yeah. All right. There's the body done. And it looks very proportionate. Might move the neck in a bit. There we go. That should do. Perfect. Now next part, okay. But first, real quick, let's make this a bit shorter. Move this in, make this thinner. There. Alright, now next part. Okay, so that is the body done for Shower Milk Cookie. Next episode, next part, we do the inside of the mouth as well as the hair. So, stay tuned for that. But anyway, that is it for my Shower Milk Cookie modelling walkthrough part 2. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're new. And goodbye. Adios. See you next time.